Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of StephSellsHome's podcast. This is episode 22, and it is sponsored by ADU West Coast and also 10K Cards, which is a digital platform that offers digital cards. And if you guys want more details on that, let me know. I'm going to get straight to it because I want to introduce this awesome guy who I'm so grateful that I was able to get him on the show. He goes by AK TheDoveGuy, but his real name, I just found out today, so I feel special, is Steven Sandoval. What's up?
What's
How
up?
are
What's up?
you?
Thank you. No, I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. First of all, I'm very excited. Like I told you, I'm very excited for this episode. Like I don't like a lot of podcasts are cool, but it's always just like I don't know, like it's just go talk and then have fun. But I feel like this is gonna be a lot more knowledge,
Yeah,
so it's gonna
right?
be
Like
cool.
there's a
Yeah,
little bit of structure to it. And
yeah,
I am actually excited because I know a lot of the podcasts you've been on is more for entertainment,
exactly,
infotainment, and
exactly.
things like that. But for me, most of my audience and most of the people that listen to me on my show are real estate related, entrepreneurship mindset, centric. And so this episode around, guys, I wanted to switch it up. I thought that it'd be nice to incorporate some humor, but behind the humor, we also want to give you guys some practical and tactical steps to help you with your business mindset, your real estate mindset. So we're going to tie it back into mindset, but it's with a little twist, which is humor, because the Dove guy is fucking hilarious, you guys.
Thank
He's
you.
he's so funny. And I don't know much about your backstory, so I want to hear a little bit more about like who the Dove guy is. I know that you work at a cemetery. I don't know if you still work there, but I've seen a lot of your videos, fucking hilarious, and the movement that you have going on is pretty dope. So, can you tell us a little bit about who's behind the AK, the Dove guy?
Yeah. So okay. So if I were to like have to like explain it like in a like third person type of thing, it would be like the Dove guy. Is basically it's just some food that basically releases doves. So it's my uncle's business. So the business, the dove release business is my uncle's business, and but his business is called Romero's White Dove Release, right? And I've been helping him for since I was like 14, so like 8 7 8 years. And I would just help him at first, like I would help him feed the doves, and then eventually like I would go to a funeral, but I wouldn't drive, like I was still like a kid, so I would have to get like a ride to the cemetery. So we I don't work at any specific cemetery. We go anywhere, like almost all over, like LA. We cover Glendale to Inglewood and Long Beach and Santa Ana and Pomona. So we cover the whole area. We go to a church, a house, a cemetery, whatever it is, and basically we release white doves that have a very symbolic meaning, and the businesses that they fly back home. So it's basically a rental business. That's what it is. Yeah.
So, you arbitrage doves.
Yeah, I mean, look. So a lot of people, they think that we hurt the animals and stuff like that, but like the doves are actually pretty well taken care of. Like they have food and they have water. And I one time I actually had to go to to pick up the food, to buy the food. My uncle sent me, and the guy
Mhm.
there was like, "Damn, you guys actually feed them like top of the line food, right?" Like, not to brag, but this is what. Damn, we have a friend in here. This is basically what the guy told me. That, and I was like, "Oh well, like I guess that we really do, like, you know, like that's good." But so now the dove guy comes. When I used to go to funerals, I would show up with the cage of birds, right? The doves that are released, and then people would often ask me like, "Hey, like, are you the dove guy? Like, am I the one like that literally showed up with the doves?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." So when I
And you
started making,
you started did you start like, because I know there was one video that went viral, and then
Mhm.
that's what kind of gave you the name. But did you start going live while you were at the funerals, or how did
No,
the
so
whole like movement come
yes,
about?
so my cousin, at the time, this was so during 2020, I actually worked at a funeral home. In the beginning of 20, for like half of the year, I worked at a funeral home, at a Korean
Okay.
funeral home. And when the pandemic hit, I had to stop working because my mom had cancer. So it was like I was around a lot of dead bodies. So it was like just had to make a choice. So I had to quit. And then I was just taking care of my mom. And then I started releasing doves again because I did it as a kid, but like especially when I was in high school, like I would only do it during the weekends or during the summer. I'll do it like all summer. And then eventually, once I got out of high school, I did it for a couple months. And then I went through like a couple of jobs. But every now and then, if I had the weekends free, I was still like, I'll tell my uncle, like, hey, I'm free. Like if you need help, and then he'll still tell me, okay, yeah, I need help. You go to this funeral, whatever the case. I was I'm like I've still been his best worker to this day. He has a lot of people that help him, but just the fact that my brain was so developed around that since a young age is like I know a funeral, like
It
sometimes I
just
have to
was
tell.
second nature
Yeah,
to you by
yeah,
the
I know
time you
funerals.
were
Yeah,
older.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So, uh, when I stopped working at the funeral home, I kind of just I wasn't doing much. I was just because of the whole pandemic thing. I was just at home. It was like fear really took over like my whole family. Like it was like it was because my mom was really considered like high risk or whatever the case may be. So it was like like you have to do what you have to do. So I stopped working, and then
Yeah.
as it kind of slowly started cooling down, I started going to funerals, but to release doves because the difference was I would go to a funeral, do my thing, and leave. When I was at the funeral home, I was around the families, I was around the dead bodies, and you think about it, like someone died from COVID, and I have to go speak to the family, like right after, like they probably like they had it too, like so.
Right, right.
So it was easier to do that. So when I started doing that again, and then I remember um people would ask us like, "Hey, do you guys record like the dub release? Can you guys record the dub release?" And we're like, "No, like we don't know anyone that does that." So I told my uncle, "You know what? I'll buy a camera. Like fuck it, like, I'll just buy a camera and I'll learn how to edit whatever." And I did, and then and I started off with the camera, and then I kind of started liking to like make videos and stuff like that. So I didn't have social media because I've always been like against it. Like I didn't have Instagram, I didn't have TikTok. I
Mm.
just it was just like I had it when I was in high school, and then after high school, I deleted it because I felt like I was getting no good out of it, like whatsoever. So I just deleted all my
Right,
social
right.
medias. Yeah. So, and then it's kind of that thing like we talked about before camera, right? When you don't know what's building, like I feel like that was actually necessary. Like that was very necessary because if I wouldn't have done that, like people. So that's why, and I told you, like I'm not good at DMs either. Like I'm like because I wasn't as used to this whole social media, like
You weren't even
socializing.
used to using it, let
No,
alone
yeah.
having
So
a
when
system
I
for
knew
follow-up.
because I had like MySpace when I was in middle school and stuff like that. But it was just like
Oh my
it was
God.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
nothing productive. It was nothing good. So
But you know
when I
what's
finished,
crazy is that brings up a good point is that it's a social media is a matter of perspective, right? It's
yeah,
how you look at it. Because some
or
people
how you
say
use it.
to me, yeah, and how you use it
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Because even what you're feeding yourself on social media, like
yeah.
some people tell me all the time, like, oh, social media is whack. It wastes your time. It does this. Like I generate most of my business
Uh
and
huh.
cultivate most of my relationships through Instagram and social media, but because I'm doing it the way that it's beneficial for my
Right,
life
right.
versus I could be on there just scrolling, looking at dumb shit and memeing it all day long, but that's not the purpose. So once you shifted your perspective, you're like, oh, this is actually a tool that's gonna help me, right? And creating awareness. So you start doing the videos, and then what
On
happens after
TikTok.
that? Like
Yeah.
that's when you started getting traction.
No, so my cousin was the one that told me to download TikTok. I have a little cousin that she would just tell me like, hey, you don't download it, like just let's make videos because I was always silly and stuff. So she told me like let's just make videos for fun or whatever the case may be, and then I was like nah. So when I downloaded TikTok, I remember seeing that it was just a bunch of people dancing, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not gonna waste my time dancing on like what
Same.
like this that makes no sense whatsoever. But and then
Yeah.
eventually I kind of started seeing like some funny videos, and I would see people rant, and I would see people just talk about their like whatever was going on. And I was like, this is interesting. So now the thing is, every time I go somewhere with the doves, I get infinite amount of questions. Like so, I knew from the beginning the interest level that's in the whole dove thing. So what happened was, I just started. The first video I made, I was just literally just recording me going to work, and nothing happened. I mean, I had zero followers. And I remember getting like 50 views, and I was like, "What the hell? Where did these 50 people come from? Like that's crazy." And it was
Yeah.
just views. Like it wasn't even likes or anything like that. But I was just like, hmm. And I remember my cousin telling we would look at like oh so and so like at that time, right, when TikTok was still new, like so and so just hit 1 million followers, like that's so crazy. And I told my cousin, I was like, you know what, one day I'm gonna hit 1 million followers too. Watch. And we just left it at that. And I kept making videos, but it was like I would make videos, and then what would happen was like I wasn't really like I didn't have any like no structure. I was just
No
doing dumb videos. I
strategy
was just doing.
behind it
I
either.
was
You're
just
just like
yeah.
posting.
I was
Yeah.
just doing no and dumb stuff. Like I was just like at my house, just trying to like do comedy, little jokes here and there. And then eventually I was at work, and then I got there like a couple minutes early, and what was like I was pretty early, so I just put the phone there, and then and I was like, yo, what's up, guys? Like I'm right here with my dove, like, and I just started making jokes, and then I uploaded it, and then I got a lot of views, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, and then some people ask questions. And I was like, oh, this is where it's at. So all I did was I would answer the questions, and then I would answer the questions and just talk shit. Like realistically, like, I was just at the cemetery.
You were
It
just
was it
being
was
you too, though.
it was
So
this whole. It
I
was
think part of it too was your personality, to be
yeah,
honest, because
yeah,
nobody's out there talking about doves, and who the hell wants to learn about doves?
yeah,
Just all like cookie cutter status,
yeah,
there has
yeah,
to be some entertainment behind
yeah,
it. So I think your personality really helped too, and because you're fucking
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
So has
Thank you. Yeah,
that
I mean,
led into any like comedy deals or
I mean,
you know?
I've done like I've tried stand up, like, but it's one of those things that I always see as like, oh, that's cool, like I'll do it, but it's never what I tell people is I never seen it as something that's like I'm gonna pursue that. I want to be a comedian. Like I never
Yeah.
really like I was just like in school I would always talk a lot and then like crack jokes and stuff like that. So that's really where that came from. Just really just being silly and what I tell people is like they're like, oh, like how you so funny. And I'm like, it's not even about being funny. It's that this is how I explain to people. It's the simplest way that I can put it is we all have crazy thoughts that come into our heads and dumb thoughts, like crazy, dumb, all types of thoughts.
Yeah.
So the average person is not gonna share those thoughts because it's like, oh, so they're
It's
gonna think I'm
taboo
dumb.
to talk
They're gonna
about
think
that
I'm
shit. Yeah.
dumb, or they're gonna think this or that. And then me, when something dumb comes up to my head, I'm like, I'd rather like say it out loud because then I know like that's dumb, like it's funny. So I'll say it out loud, like I don't really care. But I feel like that ability comes from being able to control how and where I speak the way that I do, because when I'm at the cemetery and I'm working, it's a completely different thing. Like
$100%. Yeah.
people try to get laughs out of me at the cemetery, and I'm just like and
So you know
and
when and where.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
and
in our industry it's the same thing, like I have to, obviously, I'm not I want to crack jokes to kind of break the ice with people, but there's a time and a place, and I think you are very good at pivoting and knowing how to act accordingly,
yeah,
and that's something that's really good, because a lot of people also get stuck on putting themselves out there because they're afraid of what people think, because we already, like you said, most of our thoughts, we're not going to put it out there. And when you do put it out there, you're questioning, like, what are people going to say about me?
yeah,
Does that ever cross your mind? Like, do you deal with that? Because I know I do. Like, you see me on social media, I'm always putting educational content out there. Of course, there's times when I'm like, fuck, I look ugly right there, or I don't like my hair,
yeah,
or I shouldn't have said it like this, or I said, but it crosses my head for a split second, and then I get over it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to keep analyzing myself because I'm never going to be content. It's just putting the content out there at this point, like it's not really about me. So I got to cut out that noise a lot,
yeah.
but it still happens. Like I still deal with it to this
I mean, I
day.
can tell you like so. I'll tell you this. I guess you could call it a secret or whatever the case may be. But whenever I would feel like that, and me, I always hated my voice. Always, since a kid. Like whenever I hear my voice in a video, it was horrible. So you can just
Oh,
imagine how
all of
hard
us.
that
That's
was. Yeah,
everybody. Like
yeah.
I hear
So
myself today, and it never gets any easier. It's
yeah.
a cringe
So
to
it
hear
was
your
like
own self.
in the beginning, having to rewatch the videos before posting it. There was a lot of videos that like never got
That never
posted
made it
because
to the
yeah.
cut.
Oh, so many. Yeah, but
Yeah.
there was also so many videos where I was simply, you know what, I did this, and then I'll like as soon as I laugh, I'll laugh, like I'm not gonna lie, I laugh at my own videos sometimes. Like sometimes I really say
Yeah.
the stupidest shit, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck was I saying? Like, and I just start laughing. Like
Yeah.
I don't believe some of the shit I say sometimes. So I'll just look at the video and then I'll laugh, and if I laugh, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, it's good enough. So I'll post it, and instead of staying on there, what I'll do is I'll delete TikTok, like that. I'll literally post it and delete the app. And then if I have to do something, I'll, like I said, I record funeral videos too. So if I have to edit the funeral videos, if I have to do this or something, whatever the case may
That's
be.
smart. You know what? That's
Well,
smart
yeah,
because what I do is I'll put it on airplane mode, and I just don't look back. Like sometimes I'll post the videos and I don't look at them. I don't care what I said.
Oh,
I don't care what I
yeah,
captioned it. I just don't go back,
yeah.
until
And
maybe a couple weeks later.
I don't have notifications on any like, and
Yeah,
I don't even
same.
know. I'm not sure if I have TikTok on my phone right now. I don't know, but I do constantly delete it because I know, like, I download it when I have a video ready to upload. Because other than that, I know that I'm just gonna be scrolling for no reason, and
That
then
we're all self-analytical, but the difference is some people take action and some people don't. So
yeah,
whatever it is that helps you take action is key. So that's
yeah,
one thing I just learned from you
yeah,
too.
yes, yeah. So
Like
that's
for
why
you, it's deleting the app.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I tell people like I know this is gonna sound weird, but like I have to do what I have to do because only I know what I have to do to get what I have to
Exactly,
do
and you
done.
know what
Like,
works for
yeah,
you, right?
exactly, yeah.
Which takes
So
me to the next question, which is what are what are some of the entrepreneurship goals and how do you overcome what people got to say about that too? Because I know that now that you've had a pretty good amount of audience on TikTok and Instagram, there's all these people coming at you wanting to, oh, pitch my deal, pitch my business, pitch my idea, which is great for you, right? Because you can create strategic partnerships and alliances. And I'm sure now you got a lot of people that talk shit, like, oh, this fool's probably just out trying to get a deal now and promoting people's businesses, and he's not organic anymore, Like, how do you deal with that? And then what has all of those collaborations that have came into play? Because I know you've been doing a lot of collaborations with a lot of business owners. What is that doing to your mindset? Like, where are you thinking of taking this to for the next year, 2022, 2023?
so okay, so I'm gonna answer the last one real
It's
quick
like two
before I
questions
forget.
on there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but so the last so look, so I would say the thing that's always behind my mind, always behind my mind, is all of these people that are meeting, whether they're business owners, whether they're actors, whatever the case may be. I know one day I have the potential to sell them a house. That's always in the back of my mind because I still know that
Yes.
I want to be involved in that. Even though like I'm not involved right now, and a big reason why also I'm not involved, like I wasn't sure, like my instinct was like real estate, right? Like I want to do real estate. And my instinct was like, oh, a realtor, right? Because like it's like like I can just sign up,
Because
get my
there's
license,
like
and
fucking
get to work.
1.6 of us
Right.
already.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
get
you're
to
like,
and
let
get
me
to
be
work. Yeah.
1.601.
so so
Why not?
so what
But
happened
but
was
no,
like I
I'm
was
glad. Like, what made you want to think about that? Because that's genius. Because that was gonna be, you know, Steven and I talked about like offline before recording this. We've talked about real estate goals, and that's kind of what brought him on the show as well. Because it just goes hand in hand with what I do on a day-to-day basis. And so I told him like whatever he needs help with, and we're gonna do business together. But that was gonna be honestly my first strategy to you is tell you you already have the database, which is what most realtors struggle with. Like I have new realtors on the team, right? And people who are I have clients that are getting their license right now. They don't understand that, and I tell them before you get your license, go talk to as many people as you can, so by the time you have your license you already have a book of business. Because honestly, becoming a realtor is like opening up shop, right? If you're going to open up a store, there's no way that you can open up the store and expect to sell out. Like there was
yeah,
supposed to be some build up before you opening that store,
yeah,
right? There had
yeah.
to have been a marketing plan. You're already a step ahead because you have the audience. So how did you think about that? That was genius. Like, how did you think about, oh, you know what made you, what happened, for you to actually make that decision and make that connection? Like, I got a huge database and all I got to do is sell my license because every person in my database needs housing. That's just basics, right? How did you connect those dots? Like, did you meet somebody in real estate or?
I mean, I've met people who have told me like met people in real estate. Now, so I can tell you why. So okay, so here's the thing. So like I told you, right? The initial plan was, oh, I'll just be a realtor, so I can sell houses. Now the thing was, I was always telling myself like, I don't really know anyone that would buy a house at the time, right? Because at the time I grew up in East
At the
LA.
time, yeah.
Yeah, all of my like, there was like I was like, there's no way I know anyone that will have the money to buy a house or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. So my plan was, you know what? I like working. I like, and I like hearing like when I talk to someone and then they tell me, oh, I remember I worked at this and at this and at this, and then they tell me how like they had this whole life like crazy like story,
Journey.
like yeah,
Yeah.
his whole life journey. And so I always tell myself, well, the like even if I'm not a realtor, like I want to own real estate as well. So it was kind of like maybe the realtor isn't for me because I don't know if I want to go out there and sell homes. I don't know if I want to out there and like do all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
would I mind hiring a general contractor to come fix this house because I know how I want it to look before and after? Like that would be pretty cool. So it was like I kind of told myself maybe what I should do is just work on whatever it is that I have to do, create whatever business that it is that I have to do to get the money to invest in real estate. And what happened was I kind of saw that now these people I can one be a realtor and sell them houses, or two get the capital from them to go ahead and do the whatever it is that I want to do, like actually own the real estate, which would be
Yep.
like a little bit of a different route. And
And that's
realistically
the
both
beauty
at the
to real
same
estate is
time
that,
I can do like, so it's really like like either or. But the plan did shift from becoming a realtor to rather becoming an investor, and it's just more of like I've just been like working on my credit, trying to like trying to build a business, so save money and get money to actually go ahead and do it. Because I feel like yeah, I can go ahead and go out and like like raise the capital, but there's always that like, I mean, that risk. And if you're a risk taker, then 100% go for it. But
yeah.
I feel like especially for a first time, I would rather risk my own money and then like
And
and
that's
then
what I
just
was
move
gonna
on,
say. You want to
learn
start
from
off with
there.
your own, and
Yeah,
then from there, maybe you could start doing syndications later down the line, But that's a good mindset. And
yeah,
honestly, becoming a realtor is not easy. I think like 90% of realtors fail within the
yeah,
first 5 years because it's like you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, so you got to start operating like one. And most realtors don't have that mindset. So, and it's much easier to just be an investor, take the risk yourself. But you can always have real estate be like the vehicle that drives
yeah,
you to your investments. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So you may not have to sell to everybody, but if it's a vehicle to get you to your investments, then you do it for a certain amount of time. So that's really good. Like I think you're gonna kill it in that sense, and you're already thinking investor mindset, which is good because I don't think that. Do you think that all of this would have came about had you not got that camera, recorded the content, went viral? Like you know what I mean? Like that's part of your journey. I feel like
um so yeah, I mean, it's really like everything I do, like I wouldn't like
like it
I would
stretched
say
your
I do
mindset to
believe.
where you wouldn't have. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
100%. But I would say like I would say I'm like a firm believer of like the butterfly effect, where like
Yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
everything mattered, like everything that happened mattered, every single thing
Every single
that
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
every single thing. So I feel like that was important, but I feel like what was really important was like people like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. Like I have a lot of people, like I know a lot of people that are literally send me videos like, "Hey, share my stuff, repost my stuff," and like you
Mhm,
said, like, I
mhm.
don't want to brag or anything, but I promise you, it was 100% organic. I literally and I would put out my videos and shut down from that and come back and see it like blow up, and I was like crazy. Like I never asked for likes, I never asked for comments, so it was like that kind of gives you like well, gives me like a little bit of confidence of knowing that it was really something like
A little bit. That should give you a
well
lot of confidence, right? Because
well,
you're
yes
building a
and no.
network.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, it's always that I've always had that view on social media that it's only real to a certain extent, especially when
Right.
it comes to entertainment. Like you said, like when it comes to like your business, like for example, if you associate yourself with realtors and you see that they post their house, like that helps you, all of those things, like those are good. But when you're really just on your phone and scrolling, like watching funny videos, I feel like I had to stop watching funny videos in order to make the funny videos that I made. Like, which is kind
Yes.
of like
Yes.
it's kind of crazy. So I do believe that
Yeah, because you
everything,
have
everything,
to you have to be the one that puts out the content and not the one that consumes it.
yeah. And then
Like
the
I put a lot and I can't consume it all because it's just not I won't get a lot done, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'll
So
just be
people tell
spending
like
most of my time on there.
yeah, people always like want me to like not just share their stuff, but they're like, oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Like, how come you didn't like my this? I'm like, bro, like I'm not even on my phone the way you
I don't
think. Just
even
because I
have
make
time for
videos,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you like just because I'm on social media, like people think that I'm really on social media. Now, don't get me wrong. I do slack off. I do sit down, and then I'll go ahead and start. But as soon as I see, I'm like, oh fuck, I can't, I'm not supposed to be doing this, and then I'll
And
be like,
when I am on there, it's all strategically and intentional. Like I'm not
yeah,
just DMing people just because. And that
hmm
this goes for real life. Like I'm not just talking to whoever just because, or I'm not just kicking it with whoever just because. Everybody in my real life and the people that I intentionally talk to on social media, it's intentional. It's either how can we benefit each other, how can we collaborate, how can we help one another, grow our mindset, grow ourselves, right? Rather than
hmm
just wasting time and obviously like shooting the shit along the way, making it fun, you know.
yeah,
But when I started becoming more intentional, and you don't need a huge following because to be honest, I don't have that many followers. I'm
yeah,
like under 5,
uh-huh,
but I've built a pretty good database. Like those under 5,000 followers are pretty organic and they're all real estate related somehow. So that also showed me that sometimes having a shit ton of followers that are not organic really doesn't benefit because the whole purpose of having a good social media platform is building community, right?
yeah.
Which takes me to the next question is how has that impacted your network and what are you thinking of, like, I don't know, any new ideas that have came about from having just a pretty solid network, you know, I'd say, aside from the real estate, because that was genius, you know,
Yeah,
tying that
well,
into real estate.
you know the when I got the camera, I was actually also planning on making the podcast at that around the same time
Oh, and tell
when I started
people
filming.
the name of your
Oh yeah,
podcast
the
because
podcast
I
is called
love the name.
I just started the podcast. Don't It's called Don't Blame the System, and then it kind of has a little catch line at the end, which is just learn how to play the game. So it's Don't Blame the System, just learn how to play the game, because it's like so a big way that I can describe what Don't Blame the System means, just learn how to play the game in like terms for this specific podcast, is where I'm from. I know so many people that complain about what's it called, like gentrification and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, hold the fuck up. Like I'm like, wait a minute. You're gonna tell me that you're mad that someone's coming over here to your community, making it nicer. The only reason you're mad is because you're not a part of the game, because you're sitting on the sideline, because you're renting. So build your credit. Fucking buy the house in in the same community where they're doing it, and you're gonna see the benefits of everything that's happening around you instead of being a hater and just pointing fingers and blaming the system. And
Facts.
you have to get in the game. Like you have to like I hear it so many times where it's like, oh, like they're coming and they're doing this,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
gentrification
well,
has
you
such
hold a
a
sign.
stigma.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
tell people, like, if you hold a sign or you fucking share social media memes about gentrification, that's not gonna change anything. That's not gonna change anything. Get in the game, like actually,
You
like,
gotta be the change. Yeah.
yeah,
And that's
exactly.
true. People are mad that it's being gentrified, but they're not looking at the benefit and the revitalization that it's doing to that specific neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like especially in the hood. That's I mean, I grew up there. So if you talk about gentrifying West Long Beach or certain parts of Compton, and you want to stay in those areas, then you got to prepare yourself to actually own in those areas and not stay renter mentality because that and sometimes it's lack of knowledge. You know, I
Yeah,
think that's why I like the name of your podcast because it's don't blame the system because honestly the system is there to limit you and keep you there, right? Living off the system.
yeah,
If you think outside the box and actually like grow some knowledge and connect with the right people that are not part of that game, then they're not going to blame the system. They're going to show you other ways that you can scale, run a business one day, hopefully make some money, invest in real estate, and now you don't have to blame the system. Like who gives a fuck if you qualify for food stamps or Section 8 when you're making over 100K a year in real estate? You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like people don't but how can you get there is by educating yourself instead of expecting for the government to come and help you and save you. And don't get me wrong, like we all probably need some help at some point, but it won't be forever, you know? And honestly, they're there to keep you in that mindset that you feel like you need the system, you know?
Yeah,
A lot of the
yeah,
people that I know too come from that background, you know, that where we grew up, like
yeah,
they come from that mindset. But I know that it's all a mindset game because at the end of the day, I've surrounded myself with a lot of people, and years later, I come to discover that you just been playing yourself, you know. Nobody else, nobody else is
exactly.
telling you. how
Exactly.
to live your life. It's the series of decision making that you've made along the years. Now, whether it was our fault or not, like my parents are financially literate. They don't know about credit management. They don't know about they invested in real estate, they bought a house, but never fixed it up, like never really did more than that on the entrepreneurship side. And that's okay. Like that just set me a few years back, but now I'm in a better position, because I've educated myself and I've let go of all of those past beliefs. A lot of people get strung on to their belief systems and the way that their family taught them. Like if you're only listening to your parents for money management or credit management and they don't have good credit and they don't have good savings, like you and I
You're
both
listening,
know, especially
you're
our
listening to the
people,
wrong
they're
person.
living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
But yet every weekend, fucking modelos, on lock, quinceañeras on lock, when they could be using that money to invest. But, I've been there, done that too. Like that was my family. And they don't know any better because they choose not to know any better. They stay stuck with the same people. And so you're never going to get different results by doing the same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And like,
that, I
and that's
had to
kind of the
cut
same
out a
thing.
lot of people and family too. And then
Yeah.
they look at you like, oh, well, she's stuck up or whatever. It is what it is. Like, I just don't want to be part of that cycle anymore. I want to outgrow myself. And the ones that want to learn, like, by all means, we're really
Yeah.
welcoming on this side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you don't, then just stay with the crowd. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I feel like kind of like that's what like with the whole gentrification thing is what I tell people too is like, so you're gonna tell me that just because your parents didn't have credits, like you're not gonna work on building your credit? Like what the fuck? Like that's
That makes no
like
sense.
it's
Yeah.
it's literally like you have an option. Like I said, like we talked about earlier, right? Like we all have a choice. It's like you can choose to be like them, or you can choose to be different. Like it's really just
It's really
it's
just a
up to you.
choice.
Yeah,
And what
yeah,
keeps you and making the same choices is your limited beliefs, you caring about what other people think, or you just having the stupid logic, which everybody has who doesn't want to make a change is, oh, I've been living my life this long for this way that it's very hard for them to change. When it's
yeah.
if you think about it, it's like the dumbest thing ever because like if you're living life that same way, it's been giving you the same results. So in order for you to have a different life, you got to let go
With the
of
change.
those limited beliefs, like I always
Yeah,
say, I take it back to a house. When you're going to rewire a house, I think of the house as a certain limited habits of thought that you've had. So if you have to rewire the house, you got to rewire your thoughts. There was a lot of ways that I used to think before that now I've had to change because I want to be a better person, you know what I mean? Regardless of how people take that, it's just getting 1% better. So there's a book called Atomic Habits that really helped me. You should check it
I'm
out.
gonna
That
read
one
that
will
one.
help
Yeah,
you with real estate. Yeah. Oh, you have?
no, I haven't. I said I'm
At-
going to read that.
yeah, that book is really dope for just talking about habits and how we're all creatures of habit. That's why it's so important. I never used to believe like who you kick it with is who you become, or it's your environment of habit. Like now I'm a huge believer of that. So I also protect my energy and I only hang out with people that are going to help me be better. I don't want to hear
Yeah,
it from drama, bad energy, he said, she said, or
yeah,
you can't do this, because I do a lot of stuff. Like I do real estate meetups. If you're going to tell me, oh, you shouldn't do the meetup or you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do a podcast, I don't want to hear it. Like I want to hear words of encouragement when people are like,
yep,
"Oh, you're down to do an episode? Let's do it." Or,
yeah,
you're down to work on this project? Let's do it. Let's figure out how to get creative because people are just so constrained and have this fear mentality that shit's going to go sideways, and I'm always like that's a learning curve for me if it
yeah,
happens, right?
yeah. I feel like you kind of asked me like how do you like not care about that, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like you kind of have to not be scared. Like if it doesn't go right, it doesn't go right. Like it's kind
Yeah, and it's not the end of the world.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's like it's gonna. I mean, like we talk about like entrepreneur stuff. Like I've done I've bought equipment to print out merch here at my house, and it didn't really return, and then I had to I found out that if I print them out somewhere, it actually works out a little bit better that's just a loss that I had to take, and you just learn from it.
Well,
Like
you
it
live and
just,
learn. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You live and learn. When I first
exactly.
did the when I first did the podcast, I didn't know shit about podcasting. I just knew that it was a good way to stay connected with my clients,
Yeah.
do more educational content. And dude, one of the first ones I did with, oh, as a matter of fact, with Brisa. I did
Okay.
episode 4 with her. Tell me why I didn't hook up because I didn't know about the system, right? I didn't know about the Riverside and how to work it. It didn't record. I went to her office. No, she came to my office. We recorded it, and none of it recorded. This was when I first had started. And she's one of my
Damn.
clients, but she's a good friend of mine. So it took me a couple of days and I didn't want to tell her, and I was embarrassed. Like, dude, how the fuck do I tell her? Like, yo, the podcast didn't even record. It was around Christmas time. We put our little, like, Santa Claus hats and shit.
Oh,
Y nada. None of it recorded. I
I
had to
mean
tell her. I had to
that
tell
happened
her,
to
you know what
me.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I just had to come straight up and I could have made up some bullshit excuse, but I just told her like, "Hey, Brisa, I fucked up, but I just started with the podcasting and this shit didn't record, dude. Like we're going to have to redo it." And she was like, "Okay, cool. Let me know what day next week." So the following week I go to her office and we knocked it out.
That's
But that's what I'm saying. Like all these little mistakes and errors and failures are going to come across the way, but you can't let that shit stop you. Like you've got to quickly like figure it out and just laugh about it. Like at least I'm out here doing. That was
yeah.
my quick coaching session to myself. Like, all right, don't stress out. Like you're at least are out there doing it. So just put some effort. You fucked up, say what you got to say and then go back to it. So
I feel like
that
that's
was
kind of
funny.
sometimes I don't know why, but I kind of have this like whenever something bad happens, it's kind of to me it's always like good because it's always like a like I don't know how to explain it, but like
It's a
whenever
lesson now. If you think about it, every single
not
every single thing that happens is teaching you something about yourself.
yeah,
So
but
then it becomes a game.
not just a lesson, but to me when something bad happens, it kind of just one brings me back to reality, and then two
Yeah.
it kind of like I tell myself like fuck like when I have to edit a video and I don't know how to do something, and then I'll be like, "Fuck, I don't even know how to do it." This shit, and then I tell myself, "Well, this is literally what I'm getting paid for. Like, this is literally what it's about. Like, this is like the
Right. To
struggles is
problem
exactly what
solve.
it's
Yeah.
about. Yeah, exactly." And then I figured out how to do it, and then I see the final video, and I'm like, "Damn, I really did that shit, huh? Like, that's crazy."
Yeah, you did that shit. And then
Exactly,
that
yeah,
feels like even better, right?
yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah, so
man,
like something like that. Whenever something bad pops up or like something doesn't go as planned, I'm always like, oh, that's good. That just reminds me that I'm alive and we're doing shit right, and we just have to fix
exactly,
it, and then that's okay.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, look, I really want to thank you for your time. I'm gonna head out to an appointment, like I mentioned earlier, but I had so much fun, and it went according to plan how I thought, which was just fun, free flowing,
yeah,
and I'm really grateful that you shared your story. And I think we gotta have another part 2 to this because I'm curious to see what your real estate journey is gonna look like. And I'm
yeah.
here as a team player to help out with whatever you need.
Thank you.
And that takes time. So just be patient with the process. But we'll have a part 2 and make sure you guys check him out. He's
Yeah,
hilarious.
make sure.
He's doing a lot of amazing things. Can you share your social media handles? I know you're not good with the DMs, but where
Yeah,
can people connect with you?
yeah. So the Instagram is underscore the Dove Guy, and then on TikTok is the Dove Guy. Like, I mean, I just recommend those just to like go watch the videos and stuff. And I made a YouTube
Just to
channel
get a
too
just
where
to get a feel for it.
yeah, yeah, just to get. I mean, if you really want to reach me, then you can email me at info@thedoveguy.com. And if you need doves, then I have a website. It's called thedoveguy.com. So you can just go ahead and fill out like a form, and then I get the email, and then I respond to you. So that'll be. Oh, and then the podcast is Don't Blame the System. So it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, and we're gonna have you on there too. So make sure you guys go stay tuned so you can listen to Steph's story too.
Awesome. Okay,
Thank you. I
perfect.
appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you.
again, thank you for your time. I'm excited to be on yours, guys. So make sure you guys stay connected with him because we're going to roll out with one. And it'll be my first time going on a podcast that's not real estate related. So we'll
Okay.
figure out how to make it
It's more
fun, but
like
still tie it into real estate.
it's I honestly, if I were to really put like category on it. It's more like mental health, in my opinion, and
Yeah,
mindset.
yeah.
And but
Which
we're
is
gonna crack
needed.
jokes. We're
You
gonna
know,
crack
it's
jokes
needed
because
because a lot of us are, everybody's putting a lot of podcasts for entrepreneurship and go, go, go and how to better yourself. But nobody's talking about the real shit, which is the mental side of things. If you're not good mentally, there's no way you can succeed in business, right? So we'll talk about that, and I'll
yeah.
bring some books for that one. But
Oh, that'll be
all
dope.
right, cool. Thank you so
That'll be
much
dope.
again. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
you,
Appreciate it. Thank
and
you. Thank you.
I'll see you guys on the next one.